We're here, as we know tonight, to celebrate the 100th anniversary of what is now known as Kiwanis International, founded 100 years ago today, I believe, right? 100 years ago today in Detroit, Michigan. The Laconia Club is 88, our host this evening is 88 years old. And the first thing I wanted to make note of tonight was the fact that there is a direct connection between the founding of the Laconia Kiwanis Club in 1927 and this very room that we meet in tonight. And that is that one of the charter members of that Kiwanis Club in 1927 was a gentleman by the name of Max Shertock. And Max went on to be the president of the club, and at one point in time, as was his son, Edward Sonny Shertock, who not only was president of this club, but was also mayor of Laconia back in the 70s and was a longtime county commissioner. And one of the great gentlemen that I've ever had the pleasure of knowing. And this particular room, for those of you who don't know, and there's a plaque on the wall over there with a picture by where you came in, is officially known as the Rose Shertock Gallery. And it is named in honor of Max's wife, Rose, and Ed's Sonny Shertock's mother. So the Shertock family line legend runs throughout the 20th century, almost from the birth of Laconia. And one of the great names of one of the great families, and it's a real, I think about that every time I'm in this room, about the history, not only of the building, but the history of people that have built Laconia, and perhaps even starting with the Shertock family itself. Two things come immediately to my mind when I think about the Laconia Kiwanis Club. Having only lived in Laconia for 15 years, which pales in comparison to many of you here tonight, I am still keenly aware, and have been for a long time, perhaps because of the business that I'm in, of the number of members of this club, current and past, who were the real giants of Laconia in the 20th century. The role of membership of this club includes one United States Senator, Tom McIntyre, one United States Congressman, Ollie Hewitt. In fact, I believe Senator McIntyre, if what I read is correct, that Senator McIntyre and Congressman Hewitt were members of the club at the same point in time at one time in the 1960s. So this probably is a feat perhaps not duplicated anywhere else in the country at that point in time, where you had a sitting senator and a sitting congressman, both the members of the same service club in one particular community. But it happened here, and it happened in the Kiwanis Club. The list of Kiwanians who have served as mayor of Laconia since the city was incorporated in 1893 includes at least 5, and I'm sure I'm missing some, from the first half of the 20th century, including Dr. Rowe, who was the first president of the Kiwanis Club in 1927, was a former mayor of the city. And since that point in time, Senator McIntyre, Congressman Hewitt, the previously mentioned Sonny Shertock, and Rod Dyer are all former mayors of the city of Laconia who have been members of this club at one time or other. And excuse me if I dwell on former mayors. I'm very partial to former mayors. I hope to be one myself someday. So anyway, other than perhaps sooner than I want. Also, many Kiwanians have served as city council members, school board members, county commissioners, water board commissioners. You look at the list, which I have done in the last couple of days, and it's really astounding. And as John mentioned, you start mentioning names, you start listing names, you're asking for trouble, I know, but there are some names on this list that I just have to call particular attention to. Dick Breton, who's with us tonight, served his city so well. Paul Normandin, who we just lost last year, what a great gentleman, and what a pillar of the community for many years. Carol Stafford, Carol's here tonight, I saw him. Good to see you, sir. Charlie Smith, Buddy Dano. I mean, the list just goes on and on when you look at it, of people who have served their community not only as members of this club, but served them as well, served the community as well in public office. So that's the first thing I think of. The second thing I think of, equally important, let me just digress for half a second. The other thing that I noticed in going back and doing a little research, thanks to my good friend Steve Laughlin over here, who forwarded some material to me on the history of the club, is you get a sense for the names. I mean, you go back and look at the early rosters and the list of presidents of this club over the years, and you get names like Bean, Weeks, Tilton, McGrath, Semino. I mean, I don't care if you just moved here 2 years ago. These are names that pop off the sheet because they are the heart of our community, and they have been the heart of our community for generation after generation. So the second thing, and equally important, is how many great Kiwanians I know personally and been familiar with, men and women, who maybe have never held an elected office, but have contributed immeasurably to the well-being of our community. And again, I'm getting in trouble and starting to mention names, but Howard Bacon, Roger Ballantyne, who Rogers was the namesake for the Rogers Ride fundraiser that is held in August of every year now. Betty is now a member of the club as well. Warren, I saw Warren here tonight earlier. Warren Mitchell. Jim Fortier, I haven't seen Jim here tonight. He's in Florida. Chet Silly, Dick Metz, Don and Sue Nelson, Joe, Kathy Calvin, Dennis Denoncourt, Roger, saw Roger here tonight. John now. John's even been in Laconia less than shorter period than I have. But what a contribution this gentleman has already made, your current president, to our community. So the list just goes on and on and on. And we all know that the real greatness of any organization, the real core, is not the politicians, but the quiet people who take responsibility and get things done. All the hundreds of thousands of dollars that have been raised, all the great causes aided, come down, as they do in any organization, to a few core people who just get things done that we can't thank enough and that we can't appreciate enough. So what a privilege it is for me to join you here tonight, and not only to offer my personal congratulations to this club for a job well done, but to offer congratulations on behalf of every resident of your city. We thank you, we treasure you, and importantly, we encourage you to keep going, to keep building. Laconia would not be anything near the same without you. Godspeed. Thank you, Mayor Engler, for those beautiful, heartfelt words. I really appreciate it. Thank you. You know, I am remiss. We have